Good evening, manga lovers. Thank you very much for joining us for the 15th Manga Jiman Competition Award Ceremony at our embassy. To those who are here in the embassy, welcome back. It is great to meet you again in person. And as for those who are joining us online, we are really looking forward to seeing you in flesh on future occasions. For the last Jiman, the 14th in the series, both the launch event and the award ceremony were held online. It was great that we were able to have these events despite the pandemic, and that technology enabled us to attract a much larger audience than usual, including people in remote places and even outside the UK. Another good thing was I enjoyed putting casual and colorful shirts for online events. We chose technology as the theme for the last competition when it was playing a crucial role in helping us connect with friends. The manga artists demonstrated great creativity in their interpretation of the theme. Various aspects of technology were explored, including heartwarming episodes of families and friends who had connected online, as well as a horrifying story about a mad scientist. When we discussed the theme for this year's competition, we were still required to endure restrictions in place because of the pandemic. I proposed light because I thought everyone wanted to see it. And now it seems that we are finally emerging into the light after the seemingly endless period of COVID-induced darkness. That said, it is clear from the many excellent entries to the competition that the artists involved kept up their spirits during the pandemic. The creative spirit has triumphed. I offer my sincere thanks to all of you who submitted such original and impressive entries. The theme allows various interpretations by manga artists, and we were impressed with their creativity. You can enjoy their works online anytime, but if you can, please do visit our embassy and enjoy viewing them in our Manga Jiman exhibition. May I also express my gratitude to my fellow judges for working with us. Your professional comments are always instructive and thought-provoking for all of us. I really appreciate your contributions. I would also like to thank the sponsors, Japanese Gallery Kensington, Selga.com, PFU, Ricoh UK, Japan Center, Self-Made Hero, Fanfare, Minamoto Kichoan, and Manga Originals for their unstinting support. Their generous prizes are very much appreciated by everyone involved with the competition. Meanwhile, may I take this opportunity to touch upon an exhibition which recently opened at the Royal Academy focusing on the works of Kawanabe Kyosai, a Japanese painter active in the late 19th century. He is considered a progenitor of manga. His creations are witty, energetic, and imaginative. Some of them, such as frogs and skeletons, are definitely kawaii or guro kawaii. You know, guro kawaii is a word often used by Kyary Pamyu Pamyu, one of my favorite singers, meaning grotesque and kawaii at the same time, and have profoundly influenced the development of manga culture. I urge you to go and see the exhibition, which I'm sure you will find fascinating and a source of inspiration for your creative work. As life returns to normal, the Embassy of Japan hopes to organize a number of cultural events this year. Please take the opportunity provided by such occasions to immerse yourselves in Japanese cultures. Also, I'm sure you have heard of Japan House, not only because it has gained a highly favorable reputation for its excellent museum since it opened in 2018, but also because at every Mangajima event, I have talked about it. It is currently hosting a special exhibition, Windology. Windology, New Architectural Views from Japan. The exhibition is highly original and innovative, as one might expect from the term Windology, and typical of the stimulating events you can enjoy at Japan House. And of course, you can find manga in this exhibition in which windows play a part. But when I talk about Japan House, some people say, oh, I know that. I bought soba, Japanese noodle there. Well, they must be referring to Japan Center, which is a great place to buy Japanese food and is a long-standing sponsor for Mangajima. Japan House London is a repository of all aspects of Japanese culture, including art, cuisine, design, and technology in High Street, Kensington. Finally, I feel very honored and privileged that at the Queen's Gallery, Buckingham Palace, the Royal Collection will present an exhibition, Japan, Courts and Culture, from April until March next year. It is particularly significant that Japanese culture will be presented in this prestigious setting at the time of Her Majesty's Jubilee. So please go to see this exhibition. Now, I'm sure that you are all waiting to hear from Ms. Chloe Starling, last year's winner. So without further ado, I will end my remarks here. Thank you very much for your attention.
I know if we take it back 1 year, it's a very different occasion because it was held solely online. Going back, how did you feel? What was the emotions before it all happened?
It was a very surreal experience being online and doing the thing, and then you kind of forget about it, and then you suddenly get shortlisted. Sorry, can you hear me? There you go. You suddenly get shortlisted, and then there's the anticipation of the online event, and that kind of counting down to the number one. Realizing that, oh no, I'm not number 10, oh no, I'm not number 9, and slowly going down and realizing, oh, I'm either second or first. It's quite a surreal but very kind of good experience and really good for self-confidence as well.
Correct me if I'm wrong, is your first time entering, was it?
Yeah, it was my first time entering.
Fantastic. Can you tell us a bit about Even Android's Dream? Can you tell us a bit behind the story? What was the inspiration?
The idea behind it was thinking about technology from a more human side. So we rely on technology a lot, and it was the idea of how we treat technology, and if technology actually was affected by the way we treat it, because sometimes we don't treat it very well, how that would impact it. And the idea as well of it was written during the pandemic, and the character in Even Android's Dream kind of does the same thing every day. And during the pandemic, it kind of felt like that for a lot of people as well, that it felt like every day was the same, and kind of, quite monotonous. So that idea as well.
It's fantastic. I mentioned the first digital era champion, and I mentioned that because we had the pandemic forced us to change how we run the competition. Up until that point, it was printed copies only can be submitted. So it was the first year that we allowed digital copies to be sent in. We also obviously we couldn't hold a physical event, so we had to hold it online, hence, which we did last year. So it forced us to change how we do things as well. But of course, the theme for last year was technology, and you did a great story as well. But a tradition for Manga G-Man winners is that we ask them to create promotional art for the next year as well. So this year you created some wonderful work on the theme of light. Can you tell us a bit about your inspiration for that as well? Because you created, which is coming up very shortly on the screen.
Yeah, when I drew that, I was kind of thinking about, that contrast of darkness and light and how I could display that in one picture. So I kind of went for that nice, comfortable scene of, when you're cold and you're wrapped up and you're seeing like fireworks and something that contrasts in a dark sky, and that idea of just something comforting. And I wanted like a nice bit of colour in it as well, because of course with the Manga G-Man it's kind of black and white, and I do like colour, so I wanted to get some really nice colours in there.
Yes, you're much more freer to work with the colours for that one. Can you tell us a bit about the group that you're involved with, Whip Comics? Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, so I am part of a group called Whip Comics, which is a comics collective, which meets online every month, and also has a side group as well for kind of talking about the creating sides of comics, so going into paneling and all that stuff. And it's just a really nice group to be able to talk about your comic process, what you're working on. You can get feedback from people, and it's just a really nice, safe, comfortable space, especially for people who are new to comics and want to talk to other people. And it's kind of where I got that first confidence to start drawing comics and creating them.
And a number of people from the group have entered and have been shortlisted.
Yeah.
So it's quite a successful group, isn't it? In terms of it's that sense of community as well, that you all help each other and that you all kind of...
Yeah, so, other people who've entered into Manga G-Man, they've shown their comics in our sessions and talked about them, gotten feedback from them. So it's a really nice space to get feedback from other people and just to get that confidence to actually enter, because it's a really scary thing to enter a competition and to put your work out there. So sometimes just having that support from people just pushes you to do that.
That's wonderful. Did you have a chance to look around at the shortlisted entries tonight?
Yes.
What do you think of this year's crop?
I really enjoyed them. I love different people's interpretation of the theme, how some people have come and that's quite literal with the light theme, and then some people it's more like a kind of idea, or it's behind the actual comic instead. And I always love the variants of like different paneling and art styles and stuff, and how people have approached that as well. There's some really nice in the artwork, some really nice like full page splashes I've noticed, which is lovely. I always love seeing a full page of just art.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. For us, it was important to give you that chance in the spotlight because it was just so different last year. So thank you very much for joining us, and we hope you enjoyed the reception.
Yeah.
The Youngcomer Youth Prize, sponsored by Manga Originals.
Hello everyone, I'm Dan Byron from mangaoriginals.co.uk. On my website I sell a wide variety of manga artwork, including manuscript pages, cover artwork, paintings, sketches and some anime cells. So check out the website or find me on social media. I've always got new artwork coming into stock. Tonight I'm here to present the prize for the under 14 Yonkoma category of the 2021 Manga Jiman competition. And to fit with this year's theme, I decided to award a prize that depicts light in an interesting way. It's from Wataru Takahashi's 1988 manga, The Wandering Detective, and here it is. It's absolutely gorgeous 4-colour painted page with this brilliant depiction of a sunset on a baseball pitch. So, congratulations to our lucky winner.
The winner is Ismat Amu.
I had been going through a lot of mangas and comics at the time, and as soon as I saw the competition, I had previously looked at a certain work and I thought that this would be a good idea. My main two influences are Tetsuki Fujimoto and Akiko Higashimura. I did find it quite difficult as most of my works rely on varied panel sizes, though the process of drawing it was quite enjoyable. The theme of light was originally quite ambiguous, but after a while of thinking, I was able to understand it.
So nice to be with you this evening, celebrating your extraordinary achievements in person for the first time in a few years. It feels fantastic. It's been such an honor to read your stories before anyone else in the world, really. Thank you so much. There's so many creative, bright, skillful artists here. A huge congratulations to everyone really who participated. You're really the light in this Manga Jiman competition. So, congratulations to Ismat on winning the first prize of the evening, the Yonkoma Under 14 category for Yura's Space. The judges were very impressed with Ismat's use of screen tones to portray warmth, as well as the simple transition between panels and clever visual play on circles. Everyone had very different interpretations of the story, but what we absolutely resonated with was that the wonderful feeling of relief and hope and warmth and light that emanated from Ismat's 4-panel story was what we really resonated with. One cannot help but relate to the main character's relief and hope at her discovery of light and her wish to go back home. Creating an emotional connection with your reader is one of the most important things in storytelling, so well done on doing that in only 4 panels. So congratulations to Ismat. I'm sorry I can't meet you, but maybe afterwards. And we look forward to many more stories with Ismat, Yonkoma, and perhaps even the full length in the future. Thank you.
Yonkoma 14 Plus, sponsored by Selga.com.
These are 2 items that were selected for the winners. First one is a original poster for the movie of Conan, and the second prize is actually the original sketch plan that would have been produced for producing the TV series of Conan, and it gives you a breakdown of how each scene should actually transition with the narration to go with it. So it's quite rare and unusual to find something that would have actually been physically used within the production process itself.
The winner is Mina Ghosh.
Having a go at Yonkoma was definitely new. I thought that was harder than the 8-page one. Simply because it's similar to when I do my writing. I know that I find it so much easier to write like a lengthy novel than I do say like a short story. And that's because you got to pack it. Yeah, the efficiency with which you got to tell the story has got to be so high. So I think I sort of immediately sort of skew towards like just go for like kind of a joke, sort of joke manga type thing. And I'm not naturally very funny. So that was also a little bit tricky.
So congratulations to Mina for the Yonkoma over 14 category, The Speed of Light in a Vacuum. We singled out Mina's work because it's truly unique, surprising, and hilarious. I don't believe you when you're saying you're not funny, because you're hilarious. The originality of the theme, the approach, and the execution was unmatched. The character design of the strange octopus-like creatures was fabulous, and it had one of the most unexpected and best punchlines in the entire Manga Jiman competition, which was "Lunch is pasta today," which for the jurors were very hungry and ready for lunch by the time we were onto this. It was a very it sealed the deal completely because we were starving, but it was fantastically hilarious. It was a quirky but well thought out piece with lots of wonderful details and interesting ideas packed in. You have an amazing imagination, Mina, and we can't wait to see what you'll do next with your talent. Look forward to many, many more long stories as well. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Best Youth Prize is sponsored by Self-Made Hero, publisher of Manga Shakespeare, and the winner is Jalila Mohammed.
My name is Jalila and I wrote the manga Game for Light. It's about Poff, who's a person of the forest. He kind of accidentally stumbles in to this giant battle between the sun and the moon rabbit, and they're battling over the fact that there's this new technological light and that their light is not being recognized anymore. The idea for my story, I wanted the dynamic of natural light versus technological light. So, and technological light being the antagonist to the natural light. So I also wanted a theme of scale. So I had first the problem being presented through a moth and a butterfly, lamenting that they're not recognized in day or night because humans are distracted by the new light. And then this kind of goes from small insects to these celestial beings arguing. I was trying to test out the ways I could maximize the possibility of monochrome. So I was looking at artists like MC Escher and how he uses monochrome and shadows. And he kind of reminded me the exciting potential that there can be in black and white. And I was also looking at different manga, of course, and how they used different styles and different techniques.
Congratulations, Jalila. Jalila's work, Game for Light, and the way it unfolds is extraordinary. She creates a solemn, calm, and beautiful atmosphere in which the story develops. The writing is impressive and confident, and at the same time lyrical and poetic. Her skilled use of contrast is striking. Day and night, light and darkness, moth and butterfly, forest and bare tree stumps, sun, moon, small insects and celestial beings. These contrasts are very effective and enhance the beautiful atmosphere. The visual analogy shown through a game of checkers highlights the contrast and beauty. These features are made all the more effective in monochrome. The contrast in these scenes and their atmospheric effect give readers a sense of surrounding and space, which impresses us with the value of nature. In this solemn and beautiful atmosphere, the work depicts the foolishness of humans who are preoccupied by the convenience of inventions such as the internet, electricity, and artificial light. They forget the value of nature, the value of true light. The sun and the moon deplore the short-sightedness of humans. They want to rectify the situation, suggesting the destruction of artificial light. But here, Poff, a person of the forest, comes in and they agree on a very adroit and noble way. Poff says, "We need to help them see the world anew." Very wise and decent. The subtle and calm atmosphere of this work is truly impressive. As for the artwork, I'm not a good person to talk about this. I love manga, but I'm just a diplomat, and not good talking about artwork or technique for that. However, the other members of the judging panel professionals working with manga. So Jalila, you can meet and talk with your fellow artists and professionals this evening. Overall, Game for Light strongly impressed the judges, and we congratulate you on your achievement.
In 10th place, with a prize for fanfare, is Hannah Gwynn.
I'm Hannah Gwynn, and my entry for the 2021 Manga G-Man was called Luminance. The story is it's a bit hard to describe. It's a combination of a few ideas I've had at different points. The main plot is the two characters. They go to the planets to investigate and meet up with their other teammates. And this planet in particular has particularly high oxygen levels. And that means there's very large bugs, which they quickly meet. I was trying to focus a bit more on things like dialogue to build characters, because often when I draw, I over rely on facial expressions to build that, or say having, interesting, unique designs when that's not really possible if they're being like a uniform spacesuit together. Trying to focus more on body language and how they interact with each other. There is one part where there's damage to the helmet, so I was decided how that could play out and do a little bit of drama. So you do see a small part of one person's face in one panel, but I kind of like challenging myself to do different things in comics. For example, drawing a spaceship, which is a bad idea.
In 9th place, with a book from fanfare, Keith Jenkins.
I've always been working with art since I was a child, and then I went to college. I did a foundation art course. And on that course, the second year I specialised in graphic design, which had a crossover into comic book art at times. So from when I was a boy, I've been reading comic books. When I first went to Japan, I went to Kyoto and Tokyo. I couldn't believe the lights. And it was the same the second time I went to Osaka. The neon is just so spectacular. Everywhere I went through Osaka, it was such illuminations at night. It was quite fantastic for me. Because I tried to do the actual storyline from the girl's perspective, so you'll notice with all of the frames, you won't see any faces of the adults there. Everything is through the small girl. No pictures of the mother. You never see her face. It's all the focus is on the girl, and the mother just responds mainly to the girl's questions.
In 8th place, with prizes from fanfare and the embassy, Benjamin Makinson.
Hello, I'm Benjamin Makinson, and my manga is called Lure. Admittedly, it took a while to think of, because as soon as I got the theme for light, tons of ideas went through my head. I was like, okay, light, what does that mean? That means like weightless, like a light switch, brightness, dark, lightning, just going through my head. And weirdly enough, the first thing that popped into my head when I thought about it was an anglerfish. And then immediately after that, it was like, okay, anglerfish, what can I do with that? Let's make it a mermaid, because I want to have like a person in there. So what happens with a mermaid down at the bottom of the sea? Yeah, let's find out. Let's see what we can do with that and just kind of run with that idea. When I designed her, I wanted it to be like a bit of a mystery at the beginning. So first of all, you'd have like just this innocent little fish, think, oh, it's going to be a little fish story. But then suddenly this grotesque monster appears. But she's not a grotesque monster. She just wants friends.
In 7th place, winning gift vouchers from the Japan Center, Jenna Clark.
My name is Jenna Clark. The title is Before the Light. There was one sketch that I'd done like quite a long time ago of this girl in like a mushroom forest. And I'd had it kind of just lying around for a long time. I kind of kept coming back to it and kept kind of thinking about that like imagery. It took me a while before I sort of came up with the right story for her. But when I saw the prompt for this year, I knew I kind of wanted to do something with that imagery. It always kind of stuck in my head. I think a lot of my work kind of focuses on kind of mental health, kind of incorporating my own issues. And I think even if it's not super obvious in the story, it's kind of always there. So it's kind of putting those bits of myself in my work, making work like that people can relate to. Sometimes I kind of joke that I don't really know how I feel until I've put it down on paper. So I think looking back at stuff is really helpful for me. And then if it means something to other people as well, then that's a bonus.
In sixth place, receiving gift vouchers from the Japan Center, Stephen Affleck.
So my name is Stephen Affleck, and my entry was Out of the Woods. In your brief that you gave out, you were kind of saying oh, focus on the techniques of manga. And one of them that popped up was onomatopoeia. And I thought oh, how could I incorporate that into the story? And it just kind of clicked in my head of how light can change the context of sounds. At the start of the story, when it's bright and in the middle of the day, and it's very nice, quaint setting, how can the sound effects add to that? But then as soon as you change that and make it dark, all of a sudden the same sounds before that were quite meditative and slow now become a bit sinister, and they become a bit unsettling. I like the page where I first introduce the tree as a sort of border or a divider of the panels. That was something I was also interested in, is how to not just different ways of separating the page and creating little panels within sort of a framework. And the first one I did that was when they were initially getting lost. And so the tree's in the center of the page, the bottom half of the page. And then they're kind of a little sequence of panels follows around the tree, imply they're wandering around the same tree, being wait, have we not passed this already? And the tree is simultaneously the border, but then also the tree in the location. I would say that was probably my favorite.
Prize for fifth is sponsored by the Japan Center. And it goes to Samuel Jewett.
My name is Samuel Jewett. I wrote a manga called The Ones Who Run, about a situation that the spirit of death finds himself in. I would say the story kind of took a mind of its own up to a certain point. I kind of came into it with the idea that I wanted to write about a character who was going through a bit of a difficult time, but I wanted it to be an interesting narrator. I have actually entered this competition 2 years prior, and both times weren't great. I think after the first time I was really demotivated. I didn't really want to try again, but then I did try again and I failed again. But then this year it feels quite different for some reason. I think it's because of finding the people who were going to help me grow as an artist, So for me with this story, I just wanted to express that feeling of you're kind of feeling a bit run down, but there is somebody who makes you feel a bit more at ease, a bit more hopeful, I suppose. Yeah.
Fourth place, sponsored by Minamoto Kichowan. In fourth, Nasir Ibrahim.
Hello. Are you surprised? This is a robotic representation of Nazir Ibrahim, who wrote my best so far. Let me read out what he thought, in his own words. I became interested in manga at 11 years old when I picked up a copy of Naruto in my school library. I had only found out about the competition close to the deadline, so time management was certainly the most difficult aspect. Despite the nearing deadline, the lack of time was also partly enjoyable as it forced me to work efficiently, which taught me a great deal. I had never submitted my work to an official competition, so I based the story on putting your best foot forward with the tool you have, regardless of your confidence or lack thereof. My biggest influences outside of manga creatively are Tarantino movies and the Game of Thrones books.
Third place, sponsored by Ricoh UK Limited. Third place goes to Joshua Green.
My name's Joshua Green, and the title of my entry is Sundrop. I think I've been drawing since I could walk. I haven't stopped. Ever since I was little, I've been drawing. So there's never been a time where I haven't been, really. Manga seemed to be about anything and everything with all sorts of different art styles, and that it really appealed to me that there was just so much and so many different things you could look at. I wanted to do something a bit more intimate because light is such a broad theme. You could go sort of magical, mystical, and all sorts of directions, but I wanted to do something a bit more, a bit smaller and a bit more character focused. So I was kind of thinking what would be a good idea, and I just kind of settled on the idea of a family and how well, maybe their job is to collect light. What would happen in a world without light? Would it be just an everyday occurrence that you buy and sell things, sell light, or you farm light? And that I tried to make everything a lot darker to show the sort of absence of light, and the characters were all mostly highlighted. I also, because of the story, I made things quite a bit cuter and a bit less real, a bit more stylized. The things I draw, I'm used to drawing. I love Dragon Ball Z and sort of fighting games, so I draw a bit more realistic and a bit more aggressive, I suppose. So I went in a completely different direction with this. I like drawing with color, and obviously light leads to color. Light is quite a colorful theme, so black and white was a bit tricky, but also it was good to practice that kind of line style and practice those skills instead of maybe relying on color a bit too much. At the moment, I work as an animator, and I'd like to sort of expand that to maybe getting into animation for television or film. Obviously, I love writing comics, so I've got one that I'm writing currently. It's probably going to be a year or a few years before it's ready, but I'd love to get that published and start bringing that into the animation world as well.
Good evening, everybody. It's nice to see and meet you all face to face at last. It's made me very happy. The characters are lively and charming. The story is simple but told well. Joshua Green is able to capture how people move well, and the quality of drawing is constantly good from start to finish. I really enjoyed the contrast of light and shadow, and this captures the sense of a world without sound beautifully. I really like the main character holding the Sundrop. It reminds me about the Pandra's story in the Greek myth. Like, everything it's kind of go out from the box, but hope is just remains in the box, but actually they say it's not box, jar. But anyhow, it's like, we have a very difficult time these years, but we should have hope. And it really reminds me about the light is as a hope, and it's a representative of the we should have hope of the cartoon. Congratulations, Josh Green.
Second place, sponsored by PFU Limited, Fujitsu. Second place goes to Mina Ghosh.
Hi, I'm Mina, and I'm the mangaka for Sun Cinder Eyes. I think when I saw the theme, that was light, and I thought that this was actually a theme that I wanted to give a go at as such, because light's really important for drawing, especially when you want to draw black and white. When I draw characters, I knew personally that I tend to save the eyes for the very end, and it was because I found them the hardest to draw, in the sense that a lot of the emotion when I drew tend to end up being like the eyes of the characters. So because I knew, I focused so much on the eyes as like sort of an emotional vehicle, and then that was sort of where I sort of came down to in the sense of drawing a character that did draw like lots and lots of eyes over and over again. I think in a way, like doing a story like this was easier to do in a manga or in an illustration, simply because you can use so much of the devices you can use so much of like the illustrative devices to get across your point, which will be much denser in words. So that, in a way, what it means is that I sort of distribute the emotions of the narrative to outside the dialogue and just the word. That's why it makes it slightly, I say, easier in inverted commas to convey. This was a story where it's sort of a little bit about that whole culture of crying, because on the one hand, there is this feeling like if somebody doesn't cry over an event, then sort of socially people say, is there something wrong with that person? Because you kind of expected to be able to express that grief. But then on the other hand, you also have the other side of the culture where people say like you shouldn't cry at times like that. So there was a lot in there in terms of just like that whole, a lot about in terms of social expectations, about sort of the idea of like expressing grief through crying, and how that then tied into how a person was sort of coping or trying to process an event.
And on behalf of the jury, we were all very, very moved and impressed by this story. As you may not, if you've looked at it, the reference to Sun Cinder is, of course, a reference to vampires. And what's quite nice is the V word doesn't get used in the story. It's very subtly conveyed, as you may be caught there with a little fang that sticks out. The other thing that you may have noticed with the opening page, with lots of images of eyes, well, if you're really into manga, and I'm sure Mina must be, it also reminded me of the work of Tsuge Yoshiharu, who's a great manga artist. And in his story, Nejishiki, or Screw Style, there's a famous page where there are opticians, basically. He's looking for an optician, and there are all these optician signs everywhere. So it reminded me of that. But the main point, I think, is that the theme of having empathy and with another creature, literally a vampire creature called a Sun Cinder, is something I think that speaks to us at the moment, because this is a very tough time for all of us to sort of deal with other people, to be socially obliging, to wear masks, to be safe, all this kind of thing, at the same time as wanting to live our lives and express ourselves. And the other interesting touch that I think Mina put in here, which she did touch on a little bit here, was the very special moment when you're making manga where you put the light into the eye of a character, which can really suddenly brings that character to life. And that is one of the themes that she uses in this story. And wrapping up, it's quite an emotional story at the end. There's some tears, but it's a story about a vampire basically who actually wants to go out. And he does like light, even though, of course, we all know vampires will be killed if they get exposed to sunlight. But when it's raining, it's dark enough for him to go out. And also, when it's raining, he can collect raindrops, which look like become his teardrops, because he can't actually cry. So it's a very touching story, and it definitely deserved second place. Congratulations to you, Mina. Thank you.
The winner of the 15th Mangajiman competition is Edward Welsh.
My name is Edward Welsh. My entry is Out of the Dark. Every time I've entered Mangajiman, every comic I've created for it, it's really helped me to grow as a manga artist. When I think about the first manga I entered, which admittedly, it was quite a rush. I was rushing to the very end of the deadline. I felt, this one has been, even though it's had lots of problems, I feel like I've learned from those lessons. I've grown and I've been able to make a better, more polished manga. And it's given me the opportunity to learn more about, about the comic making process. It's given me a chance to try new things out, try new themes. I guess when I first thought about the theme of light, I felt you couldn't talk about light without also talking about shadow and the interesting duality there is between it. I knew from the start I wanted to tell a story visually, using very good visual cues with the light. And I went through various iterations. I like British fantasy artists like Aubrey Beardsley. And because my background is in Japanese art history, I also take inspiration from ukiyo-e artists like Kuniyoshi, Hiroshige, Hazui Kawase. I also like taking inspiration from different cultures and folklore. So, it partly explains why I went for this sort of Middle Eastern, Central Asian theme with my comic. There was an exhibition on the Sivians years ago, which I loved the armor. The deserts were inspired by some of the deserts that I saw when I was in China. There were so many ways I wanted to explore light and shadow within the space of 8 pages. And some of my ideas were overly elaborate. So trying to condense it down was tricky, but at the same time, when I found that theme that worked, for me, this was a very experimental piece. It was me trying to explore visually light and shadow, and it pushed my shading to new levels, which is really great. I knew that I wanted to have very strong light effects, and as a result, very strong shadow as well. And I tend to skate away from using too many big blocks of dark or very heavy shades. But actually, as I got stuck into it, I found I was really satisfied with the process. I was really satisfied with the appearance of it. Light illuminates the world for us. It helps us see the truth of things. Yet it also can make us vulnerable when we're out in the open. Darkness can bring us comfort and relief from the heat and the light, but at the same time, its shadows can also prey on our fears, making us see things that aren't there. My story is kind of about overcoming that fear, about having the courage to then step into the light and see the truth of things. Regardless of where I get placed this year, I know that I've become a better manga artist because of it, and I'm really grateful for that.
Congratulations, Edward. What is good about the work? And do look at the entries in the printed folders there to get the full story, because the one image, the story is what counts. So what is good about the work? Pacing, page and panel layout, writing, drawing, lettering, and his use of tones. The all-round capability displayed in Edward's entry tells of his broad influences as expressed in his video, not only from manga and Japanese art and culture, but also by becoming the being and staying wide open to all of the things that are possible for inspiration in the world around him. Open heart, open mind, open eyes, and open ears, the broad basics for the self-taught art of storytelling and of manga. Do we sense a hint, perhaps, of his dramatic possibly acting ability. Again, I'm going by the video and the narration. That skill, too, is good and necessary part of all great manga storytelling. And it's the sure-footed storytelling that wins out here. The whole story, including its twist, is already encoded as early as panel 2, but only properly appreciated and understood when reaching the story's end. So that's a great bit of construction there. Also, the narrative remains open to the reader's own interpretation. During the judges' discussion, some took it at face value that the armoured warrior was not also revealed to be the lizard, which is my interpretation. And yet the entry's evident qualities were still enjoyed all the same. Is there perhaps an analogy to the state of mind during lockdown? He's nodding. So let us also just finally remark on and applaud Edward's doggedness. His will to return, entering year on year, and he's not the only one here doing that, and that we also have a significant number of first-time entrants in the top 10, so I think both of those are significant. But as Edward showed you, he placed 7th, then 4th, and now 1st. I just want to make one final remark, which is a dedication, really, of the theme, what is manga? And I've stolen this. It's repurposed from something that Dionne Warwick said about Whitney Houston during Black History Month, which has just happened. And what is manga? The quote I thought was very good. Understand our purpose, to connect with people on a level that everyone understands. Thank you.
So, as I'm sure everyone's already seen, the winner likes traditional Japanese works of art. And one of the greatest storytellers of Japanese feudal, and it's rather more based on a true story, would be Kuniyoshi as an artist. So this is actually an original woodblock print by Kuniyoshi of the famous story of the 47 samurais, and this depicts one of the gentlemen from that legend, and it's got what he actually went through throughout his journey with the clan itself. To accompany this prize, he will also be receiving a JoJo book, which is shows various different aspects of the story and the artwork within JoJo's Legends itself. So congratulations, and I hope this becomes a nice inspiration for you to continue your journey as an anime and manga artist.
But one or two quick questions.
Oh, yes.
So, well, the obvious one is, how do you feel?
Speechless. I don't know what to say. I'm so honoured, honestly. When I saw all the thumbnails this year, I thought, the competition is so tight. I'll be amazed if I can even, make it to the 10th. I was blown away, but no, it's amazing, and it makes me so happy that I've continued to apply for the past 3 years. It's been an amazing journey.
Because we did like the symmetry of going 7th, 4th, 1st. We thought that was pretty good. And it's been a big year for you, job-wise, career-wise?
Well, I'm now moving to trying to be a full-time manga artist. I'm going to be working on a series that I've always wanted to work on for a long time. So I'm really excited to take all this inspirational skills and, apply and make the manga I've always dreamed of.
Excellent. Congratulations, Edward. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The exhibition of award-winning manga opens in the Embassy next Tuesday. It's a physical exhibition. More updates on our competition can be found on social media. And also, as well, more information is coming up on our website as well. Thank you very much for